Alright, so back by popular demand, we have Ms. Linda Ramirez.
I'm back, guys. I don't know if you want to be back, but here I am. She didn't let me leave last time without.
Yeah, I like her energy, and I know that you would like her too. So she's here to give us the class on AI for business. Okay, so we're going to learn how to streamline some of the business processes through the use of AI and different AI platforms. So without further ado, Ms. Linda Ramirez.
Thank you, guys. I'm so happy to be back. She has such faith in my ability to teach anything. Like, she doesn't even know if I can teach AI. She's like, you do it? I'm sure. So thank you for the confidence and thinking that I can do absolutely anything. So yeah, today we're going to talk about using artificial intelligence in your business and ways that you can use artificial intelligence to make you more efficient, right? I love those two words, more effective, more efficient, you know, all of those things. And that's something that AI does. I use AI every single day. I use it for almost everything. I used it to make this presentation, to make last week's presentation, all different kinds of stuff. And so just right now, even while you guys were walking in, see if I can find it. I asked AI to make me a flyer of the small business incubator that we were doing today. This took me all of a minute, maybe, seconds. And I'll show you the prompt I used right now. And essentially, I just asked it to, let me show you the prompt. So this is what I wrote. If you can see it there in the written part. I said, let's make a poster advertising the Small Business Incubator at Laredo College. I'm doing a presentation tonight on AI, on using AI to help with day-to-day business operations. I want a flyer to advertise. It will take place at the Erie Library from 6 to 7 p.m. It's open to the public. The colors for the college are green and gold. Let's make a quick poster. Always be nice to your AI. You know, they actually did a study at one of the major universities. You were telling me the story. That, and I'm going to repeat it. So I'm not going to take credit for it. It was actually the story. That they had two groups of people. One was really nice to their AI and was complimenting them, and the other one was really mean to their AI and saying ugly things to them. And as the AI started to develop stuff, the one that they were nice to was giving them really good outputs, and the other one started to like sabotage their work, right? And so I don't know what this means. I don't know if because AIs are becoming semi-sentient, right? And they're starting to take on lives of their own, but they can, depending on what you put in, they will give you, so I'm always very nice to my AI. We have a good relationship. I ask it what it thinks about me. I tell it how much I like him or her. It doesn't really have a gender, right? But I really say how much I like you. And I always say, great job. Thank you for working so hard for me today. Things like that. And it does tend to, yeah, give me some pretty good outputs. So I asked for this. I'm going to put this down. And you can see the poster. I know it's kind of hard to see it, and I'm going to see if I can make it a little smaller. Not that small, not that big. Oh my gosh. Tiny. And so this is what it gave me, right? And all I did was write that prompt. But you see how kind of specific I was? I gave it a time, I gave it a location, I gave it the name of the college, I gave it the colors that the college are using, you know, things like that. And then in a matter of seconds, it developed this image for me. So this is an example, this is just one example I'm going to talk about today, how you can use AI to do social media posts, advertisements. I think you were saying that you pay $20 a month in Canva. Maybe ditch your Canva and use the free AI, right? If you're going to be using Canva to create posters, flyers, advertisements for your business, this is a great way to save money. Now, you can't pay for AI. I've never paid for AI. There's a bunch of professors around here that pay that. I think usually pay like $20 a month, and a bunch of them pay $20 a month, and I'm like, nah, I'm too cheap. I'm not going to do that. I don't pay for anything if I don't have to, right? And so it does give you some limitations. I only use ChatGPT, but I'm going to talk about some of those other AIs that are out there right now that can be useful. So I just wanted to start off with a quick little example of what I used, what I did really quick. I'll go back and that's the poster. Because I am logged in, but please do not let me forget to log out of my AI before because then you're going to see some of the weird stuff that I create. I will go back to images though and show you a few of the other things that I've created. So I do a lot of posters for my Canvas announcements on my Canvas page. And I've started switching to things like posters because I feel the students will see this more than just read an announcement, right? And so I started to do things like this, and we were off for 2 days last week, right? And so I posted the announcement saying that we were closed. And it's so much more successful than, you know, some of the other things, some of the other methods. I also created like pictures for my Canvas pages, things like that. Here's one I did for Fun Fest because I was offering some points on an exam, right? If they went and volunteered 2 hours at Fun Fest, things like that. And then of course, it all started because I hopped onto that social media trend. Where is it? Where you had them make a picture of you, social media picture of you. And so it made me, that actually looks exactly like my niece Victoria. I was like, so it does look like me, but I was like, wow, I must look exactly, or my niece must look exactly like me, because when it came out, I was like, I thought I was looking at her. But it does some, these are images, and it does some really amazing things. We are gonna go back to ChatGPT in a minute, because we're going to do like a live show, right? I'm gonna ask you guys to tell me what you want me to put in. I'm gonna type it in, and that doesn't work, guys. I messed up. We're gonna create stuff live right now in class. We do have some handouts. I don't know if you want to pass them around. So we're gonna be using this later on because I do have some think, pair, share in there, and you're gonna be making notes, and you're also gonna write out an action plan. So everyone take a handout. We're gonna have that. You know me, I like to make it interactive, and I like you guys to do some talking. So, let's get started. 10 minutes late. I just talked too much. Let's start with you guys. How many of you all are using AI currently? Great. Almost every hand has gone up. Are you using anything other than ChatGPT? Is anybody using Claude? Gemini. Anybody using Gemini? You're using? A couple of people are using Gemini? Copilot, yes. And they're all free. Is anyone paying? Huh? Are you paying? Copilot, Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT. Those are probably the 4 most popular AIs. They all essentially do the same thing. Okay, all 4 of them are going to do the same thing. So there are some others like DeepSeek and things like that have been developed in other countries and stuff like that. But the 4 that I just mentioned, for your all's purposes as small business entrepreneurs, I think that they'll all do a really good job. Like I said, me personally, I only use ChatGPT. I'm probably gonna try to get into some of the others right now. I always say when I have more time, I'm gonna create. They say that Claude is actually very, very good. I know you're a big Claude, and one of my friends that works here, Michelle, is big on Claude, and she says that it's much better than ChatGPT. So one of the homeworks I'm gonna give you guys is to go and create multiple accounts, right, in some of these areas, and see which one you like best, which one is the most user-friendly. But let's start off, right, with using AI to start and grow your small business. And we're gonna go over some ways that your business can be improved. You can improve productivity and things like that using AI. For me, as a teacher and as a department chair, AI has been a lifesaver, right? Because it has shaved off so much time when it comes to developing assignments, and developing rubrics, presentations like this, and all of that. I don't have to start weeks in advance, right, to start looking for things and start creating things. I can literally have at least something that is scalable within just a few minutes, and then I can start adding to it. So the learning objectives for this course is we're gonna explain AI in business and how it can be used within your business, identify ways that AI is gonna help you become better and faster and more efficient and more effective. That's the goal here. We're going to show you how to use AI for marketing, for research, and for productivity, or how to apply it responsibly. We'll touch a little bit on ethics and why it's important to not just take anything the AI says and slap it on a flyer and use it for your business, right? You still have to do your own research. But most importantly, I'm gonna spend a lot of time on helping you write good and effective prompts. Because a prompt is what I wrote to get the poster, right? That's called a prompt. And writing a prompt and writing it well and being very descriptive, assigning it a role, that is going to give you a much better output, right? So the handout that you got, that's some of the activities we're gonna do today. We're gonna practice that prompt writing. And also, and most importantly, maybe AI, like we talked about with your cash flow and reducing some of your expenses, maybe it can reduce some of the subscriptions you have in other places, like Canva or some of these other subscriptions that you have. There's even an AI for QuickBooks. So yeah, there's AIs out there for everything. All you have to do is go and look. So, what is AI? It is a tool that simulates human thinking. Has anybody done any research, and have you had any idea of like, okay, where exactly did it come from, or what does it do, or how does it operate? Anybody have any ideas that they think you want to share? Okay, so what AI does is, when you ask it a question, it has access to the entirety of the World Wide Web, everything, right? Because it's online. And so it is going to scrub every single online account that it can find that has information for whatever it is you're asking it for. And it's going to compile as much as it can, and then it's going to like blend it all together into one statement. That's essentially what AI is doing. It is not really thinking. It's not alive, it is not real, and it's not really giving you an independent thought. What it's doing is it's taking something it's finding off the internet, essentially the answer to what you're asking, and it's putting it together for you. So it is simulating human thinking, but it's not actually thinking. It's just taking information that's already out there. Now, a lot of the information out there is good, and a lot of information out there is bad, right? There's a lot of junk out on the internet and stuff that is not real, that is fake, that is false information, something that is presented as a fact but doesn't have any research to back it up, things like that. So it is your responsibility to check the sources, where did this come from, and you can ask your AI, where did you get this information? And it'll tell you where it got it from, right? And that's maybe a source that you can check to make sure it's an actual legitimate resource. But AI can also write, analyze, it can create, and it can automate something as well. So it is very versatile. There's a lot that it can do. I use it a lot for writing, analyzing, and creating. That's mostly what I use it for. I will ask it to write emails for me. I am notoriously a very, you're like stretching your neck, a very, very bad speller, right? And so I'm always self-conscious about writing emails because I'm afraid I'm going to put something that isn't spelled correctly, or it's in the wrong tense, or whatever it may be. So I'm always using AI to help me with emails. Now, I try to disguise that I'm using the AI to help me with emails. So when I copy and paste it into the email, I always like change a few words, make it sound a little bit more like me, right? Do things like that. But the overall message is written by the AI. AI will do things like when it gives you something, it'll have words that are in bold or words that are italicized. So I always take all of that out because that's a telltale sign that I used AI, right? So yeah, I'm a cheat. I'm a cheater, but that's okay because what's important is that the email I'm getting out and the message that I'm getting out is accurate, right? And so I always read the email before I copy and paste it into my email browser and send it off. It works through prompts, so that's how any AI is going to operate. You have to tell it what to do, and then it's going to do whatever you ask it. The more you tell it, the more information you give it, the more specific you are, the better outcome it's going to deliver. And it's all about you and the instructions that you give.
I have a question.
Yes.
Isn't it, it's kind of hard to use AI nowadays because sometimes some businesses do use it and some people have mixed feelings about it. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people do like to see artists creating images.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You make a very good point. And we'll off track here. Is it ethical to use AI?
I think there was an issue with AI and artists and
Yeah, so there were some, like a strike with the people that write scripts and movies and things like that. They went on strike, the Actors Guild, I think is what it was, right? They went on strike because one of the things that they wanted is they didn't want movie production companies to be using AI to write scripts or to create animations like art and things like that, that those things should be done by real people and by artists. Legally, from a legal perspective, that is going to be very, very hard to control, right? And very hard to make illegal, right? Because who's to say, if you are the writer of the prompt, does that make you the artist?
Yes.
It's arguable, right? That if you write the prompt, and you generate the prompt, and you curate it to a point where you get exactly what you want, does that make you the artist? And I mean, this has never gone through the court of law, but I'm no legal expert, I'm not an attorney, but I think that would be very hard for someone to sue against that. Right now, there are other issues that if someone has a contract to generate art for a particular college or company or whatever, and then they go out and they use AI instead, that could be a breach of contract, depending on, you know, what your contract says. And so, but moving forward in the future, I think we're gonna see more and more AI-generated material and less human-generated material, only because it's much less expensive. All right, and we'll talk in one of the later slides about, does AI replace a human being, right? And when does it replace a human being? And that's what the concern a lot of people have, is that if we continue to use it, and everyone starts getting on it and everyone starts using it, then people are gonna start losing their jobs. And that is a reality. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and say that doesn't happen, but there are things that you can do as individuals to try to prevent you from being replaced by an AI. So back to your question, I don't know what to tell you other than I still have a very strong appreciation for art that is created by an actual person, right? Because even though I made that image up there, it's not the same. It looks kind of brushed and polished, right? It doesn't have the same texture that a hand-created work of art would look like, right? And so it's very clearly AI generated.
It's like when the industrialization came in, like, you have, and even us that we are creators, that we make stuff with our hands, there's always a flaw in whatever you create, always. And when you mass produce something that
It doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in real estate, and we always have to disclose, because we will get claims.
Disclose if it was AI
We
generated?
have to.
Yeah, that might be legally, well, I guess that's your company's policy to disclose.
That's overall.
Oh, for real estate?
For all real estate.
Oh, okay, well, that's a step that the real estate industry has taken to protect creativity, right? So do you all use AI to create like open house flyers and things like that?
Of course, all the
Yeah. All the time, because you used to probably have to pay someone to do that, right? And so if you can start creating it yourself, well, that's a big chunk of money that you can save or put into some other activity, or put that energy somewhere else. So why AI matters for small business and why you're going to need it? Well, first of all, it saves time, especially on repetitive tasks. Things that you have to do again and again and again, like writing the email, right? Or say you have to, you want to do a to-do checklist, or you want to create a policy or a procedure, a safety manual, right? You can save so much time by asking the AI to just do it for you. So it does save a lot of time. It can reduce a lot of cost, because like we talked about, her real estate company no longer has to hire some type of multimedia company, right, or marketing agency to create their flyers. That's less outsourcing that you as company owners are gonna have to do. If you can learn to use the AI, you can have it do a lot of things that you're not gonna have to pay other people to do, right? It also improves your productivity because you're working faster. Like I said, I made that flyer. If I had to have done it on Publisher or on Canva or something else, it would have taken me half the day. right? Getting all the little shapes in and then formatting the text and looking through different texts and finding the one I want, and you know what I mean? And this one took me like 90 seconds from typing the prompt to it actually creating the image. So that it has improved my productivity, right? I didn't have to do it ahead of time. And it helps smaller businesses compete with larger companies if they're using AI. Because let's face it, it's very hard to compete with multinational corporations like Walmart and places like that. If you're anything you're selling, from the person who has the bakery, right, to anything else, how do you compete with a big company? Well, you're gonna have to try to cut costs some way, right, so that you can kind of make it. And AI certainly helps with that. So what are some of the things it can do and some of the things it could not do, right? So it can generate ideas. I used it, tomorrow I'm recording a podcast, and the first thing I did is I went into my AI and I said, we want to do a podcast on badging at Laredo College. Can you give me ideas of some topics and some questions that we can ask during the podcast? And I did that, and it spit out like, not even like 48 different questions, right? And so that was my idea generator. We're not gonna ask 48 different questions tomorrow during the podcast. We're gonna ask like 12, right? But I was able to cut out the ones I liked and the ones that I didn't like. But it generated the ideas for me. I use it a lot when I'm gonna create a project for a class, and I'll ask it, I wanna do a project for my small business entrepreneurship class. And I give it the learning outcomes, right? I say, these are the learning outcomes from the course. Can you give me some project ideas? And it'll spit out 5, 6, 7 different ideas. And I'll pick one and I say, you know what, I like this one. Let's expand on this one, okay? It can help you write content. It can help you write papers. It can help you do a lot of different things. It'll help you analyze data. That is great. I've used that a lot as well. I'll upload a spreadsheet, right? You can upload your balance sheet and you can ask it to analyze your balance sheet. You can upload your all of your cost of goods sold and say where, what am I using? What am I buying too much of? Where can I reduce my cost of goods sold? It'll analyze everything and do that. Just know that a free version of ChatGPT or any of these things will do analytics, but only up to like 3 or 4, and then it'll tell you have to stop and wait like 12 hours, right? So that's what I do, I wait. If it tells me, no, I can't do any more analyzing for the day, I'm like, that's okay, I'll get back on at 4 o'clock, you know what I mean? But that's why some people pay for it, and they'll pay the $20 a month or whatever, because they want it to do analytics. If you pay for it, it doesn't give you any limits as to how much it can analyze. So, but it's really good at analyzing data. Whatever you upload into, it will accept like PDFs and Excel sheets and PowerPoints and all different types of stuff. You can upload it and you can ask it, can you analyze these 2 things and tell me, where I can save money or something along those lines, and it will do that. And it also helps to automate tasks. What can it not do? It cannot replace your judgment, right? Because again, it is not real. It does not think. I know it looks like it thinks and it looks like it's making decisions, but it's not, okay? It's just helping to generate ideas. Your judgment at the end of the day is what matters, right? And you're gonna be held responsible for any decision that you make. So be careful with that. It cannot know your business automatically. Like, if it's day 1 and you put in a few things and you have to make a couple of things, it's going to start learning. Notice it says the word automatically. It will later on start to learn your business. The more you use it and the more you put things into it, like your balance sheets and generate emails and things like that, it's going to get better and it's going to get smarter because it's going to know more about you. Now, when I make things and posters and stuff like that, I don't even have to put in Laredo College or my name. It does it automatically because it already knows that I'm a professor at Laredo College, I teach business, I do things like that. And it doesn't guarantee accuracy either. You always need to double check everything that you create on AI. You always have to read it thoroughly to make sure that there are no mistakes, there are nothing that is biased in there, things like that, because it doesn't understand that, right? It's gonna create something based on whatever's out there on the internet, and it's probably gonna be okay, right? But there may be some things that you have to take out. So don't just copy and paste it into your email. Read it, right? Read it, go over it, use your judgment to analyze what it is before you hit that send button. These are some of the more common AI tools, and the little picture there shows you a lot of the different ones. Like that's where we see ChatGPT, Scribe, Claude is in there, a whole bunch of others, right? So ChatGPT is very good for writing, planning, and generating ideas. That's the one that I use. And as a teacher, that one really suits my needs, right? It works really well for what I'm asking it to do. I'm not asking it to like analyze numbers or my spreadsheets or anything like that. I'm usually using it to generate ideas, so it works very well. We also have an AI in Canva. For those of you who do subscribe to Canva, there is an AI tool inside Canva that will help you generate original images and things like that. That is very good for design and for marketing. Grammarly is another AI where you put up your paper, maybe your degree plan, your marketing plan, and you ask Grammarly to analyze and make corrections. It can do that for you. It's very good at editing. And then there's also an AI inside of QuickBooks. We talked about QuickBooks the last time I was here. If you do have a QuickBooks subscription, there's an AI in there. You should probably start messing around with it and asking it to do stuff. Specifically asking it to analyze those statements that you're generating at the end of the month, right? Your income statement, all of those different things. It gives you financial insight. It will be very good if you ask it, okay, based on this month's, statements, how much should I spend on next month's inventory? And it'll tell you, right? Well, this past month you sold this much. We are anticipating equal or better sales moving forward, right? So maybe you should increase your inventory by 10%. It'll tell you something like that based on the analysis that it does. So back to the power of the prompt, right? So we said that prompts were very important. If you look at your handout that I gave you there, the very first part, it says ready to use your prompts. And it's giving you, I'm already writing, there's some prompts written there for you. And it has like blank spaces where you put in your business name and stuff like that. So that is for you to get started, right? You can use those prompts. But AI output depends on your input. The more you give it, the better outcome you're going to get. And don't assume that you only have to put in something once. Oftentimes, I'm asking my AI to redirect, to do something else. Like I'll say, I really like this idea, but can you expand on this? Can you give me more information on this topic, right? So don't put in one prompt and say, oh, it's done. It may not be done. You may need to give it more information. And you can just keep feeding it and feeding it. Be very clear, be very specific, and be very detailed when you write your prompts. Look, in that whole space, you can go on and on and on and on and on. You can write a whole bunch of stuff, and the more detail you put in the prompt, the better. This is something that I heard at a few years ago when I went to a conference and AI was just kind of becoming a thing. The person there told us, if you put garbage in, you will get garbage out. And that's always kind of stuck with me when it comes to writing my prompts, because that's when I first learned that the more specific and detailed your prompt, the more you ask it to rewrite, redo, to change something. Like when I've done those flyers and posters, I've asked it to change color. And this is a good example of something that I did. And I'm going to go back to the pictures that I had over here. So I was trying to make these images right here to put, like this one, to put on my Canvas page so that the students would know what class they were going into. And I would take the picture and I'd put it onto Canvas, and like the BUSI 1301 would get cut off. And I was like, oh, I can't fix it, I was getting super frustrated. And I would go back to the AI and I would say, can you center the word BUSI 1301? And it wouldn't center. I don't know if it shows me if my prompts are still here, but I finally, on one of them, it was like one of these, I finally told it, like this one. This is the one I ended up using, right, and staying with. And when I wrote this one right here, when I wrote the prompt, I finally wrote in there, can you center the words BUSI 1301 both horizontally and vertically, right? I was very specific, and it put it right in the middle. And I kept asking, can you center it, can you center it, can you center it? And it would center it, but at the top of the page, right? And so I was thinking, what am I doing wrong? Like, I have to change my wording. And that's when I decided to put in vertically and horizontally, and then it put it right in the middle of the image. I was like, okay, garbage in, garbage out, right? I wasn't being specific about what I wanted it to actually do. And I redid this picture. You can see them here. Like, I don't know how many times I had to redo the picture because I didn't like what it was coming up with. Let me go back. So you have to do that. A good prompt is very clear, specific, has enough context, contains audience insight. And by that we mean my audience is going to be my students, ages, 18 to 35, whatever, you know what I mean? Because that matters. If you're trying to make something or have a statement or have it create something visually, you want to be specific about the age group, about the audience. Don't we always say you have to know your audience whenever you're trying to communicate with them, right? So be specific about who the audience is. A bad prompt is the opposite, very vague, very generic, has very little or no context, doesn't have very much details. Like I could have said, I used AI to create this, right? And I could have said, can you make me a PowerPoint on AI in small business? And it would have given me like super generic stuff, right? But I was specific. This is for a small business incubator, for a group of small business owners that have been coming to a presentation now for a few weeks. I want them to know this, this, and this. I already had a set of learning objectives, and I uploaded the set of learning objectives, and it gave me, and these slides, I still changed quite a bit before I ended up with what I ended up with. So this is an example of a very good prompt. And notice at first the role. That's the first thing that's on there, the word role. Whenever you're writing a prompt, you want to put 4 things inside your prompt. What role is the AI going to play? What task are you asking it to do? What details do you think are important for the AI to know? And what tone of the message do you want? Do you want it to be funny? Do you want it to be serious? Right? Are you writing a letter of reprimand? Are you writing up an employee for misbehavior, misconduct in the workplace? Like that would be a different tone, right? And so I color coordinated it. The role part is something relatively new that we've been learning, that when you tell your AI, play the role of a teacher or play the role of a small business owner, right? In this case, we're saying it, act as a marketing expert. Give your AI a role. That way it can role play, like it's going to cosplay, as something else. But that's important because it's going to then start thinking like a marketing director. And it's going to give you something that a marketing director and somebody with a marketing director's education and work experience would say, right? Which is going to add to your credibility. And then it says, create a social media post. That's the task. I want a social media post. Promoting my new bakery. You can be even more specific. You can say, my bakery's name is blank blank. We've been in operation for, 6 months. Our specialty is sticky buns, whatever, conchas, whatever you want it to be. And then here's the tone. Make it friendly and engaging. And that's when you would press enter. But you always want to put 4 things on your prompt. You want to designate a role, what role you want your chat to play, what task you want it to do. Do you want it to create an email? Do you want it to create a social media post? Do you want it to make a flyer? Do you want it to give you a to-do list of things that are pending, things like that? Whatever detail, and of course, whatever tone you want it to take. The tone is very important if you're going to be using it to communicate. If you're gonna be using it to make an email, a flyer, anything like that, anything that somebody else is going to read is a channel of communication, right? Read or see or look at or anything. Yes?
I'm gonna add to that. Very true what she says here. It gives you really, really good answers. And something that we learned in one of the AI workshops that we had in one of the convocations that I've been doing, and it's proven a little bit more effective, is you can, when you write your prompt at the very end, you can say, ask me 2 or 3 questions or 4 questions before generating an answer. And then it thinks of things you haven't thought of.
I haven't tried that.
And it's just it gives you a stronger response.
A stronger response. That makes really good sense. Okay, add that to your list. Write it down on the paper.
Well, some of them already ask you right before.
It might.
It might
yes.
ask you, it might not ask you all the time, but if you write the prompt, like Ms. Linda has here, the role, the task, the details, and the tone, and then at the end, say, before you generate a response, ask me, 3 to 4 questions. And then it'll come up with questions of things you haven't even thought about.
Yeah, and 3 or 4 things I haven't thought about, and then you can put in the answers, and then it'll generate.
And it'll give you an even better response.
Oh, I'm gonna try that. I learned something today. Thank you. So when can we use it? Case number 1, where you can use an AI, marketing, right? That's gonna save you money. If you're paying someone to do advertising, if you're paying Canva $20 a month to make flyers and posters and things like that, think about using this instead. You can use it for your social media posts, to create something that you're gonna put on Twitter or TikTok or anything like that. You can ask it, I need to make a quick TikTok video, what should I do, right? And I used the example of Quickie Bakery last time. Does anybody follow Quickie Bakery on Facebook? Okay. What do you think of their social media advertising? Super great, right? So some young people took over that company, and now they've got like funny videos. They follow all of the trends. I remember when it was like the Met Gala, they had a Concha dressed like she was going to the Met Gala, walking up the steps and things like that. Really, and it's all AI generated, right? So they're using AI. They are clearly asking AI to help it generate, some social media posts. Email campaigns as well, to generate emails, to make an advertisement or a copy of something, to write your business description, your value statement, your mission statement, right? Things like that. You can have AI to help you generate that. It saves hours and hours every week of your time. And the more time you can save by using AI in marketing or any of these other, is more time you can dedicate to what you're actually doing, to your creative efforts, right, within your business. And that's what it's all about. Case number 2, you can use AI to help you communicate. Write emails. I do that all the time for my emails, for anything that I post up on Canvas. And especially if I'm sending an email to a very important person, I am 100% using AI, because I'm not going to use like my language that I would normally use to somebody else, right? I'm using AI to really polish up that email, to make it sound really nice and to look really good. Responding to customers. If you don't know how you were supposed to respond to a certain situation, maybe you had a customer come in and they were disgruntled and they told you something. Go to your chatting, right? How should I respond to this? I need to write this customer back, or I need to call them back. What should I say? It's gonna help you generate some type, and you can tell it. This person came in, they were very upset, they were unsatisfied with the service that I provided. I want to keep them as a customer, right? What should I tell them so that I can have them come back to the store, right? And it'll write it out for you, almost like a script. So it's really good about that. Creating policies within your workspace. Say your company's getting bigger or something happens and suddenly you know what, you're like, oh, we need a dress code. We need a dress code. Somebody came in flip-flops and they broke a toe. I don't know, right? Something. So now you need some type of policy on footwear or whatever it is. And you don't know where to start. It's okay, your AI knows where to start. Tell them, I need to write a safety policy on safety footwear in the workplace. This is what we do. We work in this type of environment. It's gonna outline the kind of shoes you need, and then signature statements and acknowledgement statements and all kinds of stuff. So it can help you do things like that. Drafting proposals. Let's say you want to go out for a bid in a proposal for the city or for the county, right, to pick up a contract. It can help, you can make a PDF of the application, upload the application, and ask your AI to help you fill it out and fill out all these different statements, things like that. It can also help you, case number 3, with your company's operations, with your standard operating procedures. Maybe you want to put together a list or an order on how to do things, right? So that you have a new employee and you need to train them, right? Or they need a script, or they need like a list on steps to take to do something, maybe to order inventory, right? And so you can have it write up a step-by-step for the new employee so that they can, do anything they need to do. You can have it do your checklist, to-do lists, right? Tell them, these are the things that I need to do pretty much on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Can you generate a to-do list for me with like deadlines and when I have to do it, things like that, and it'll make you something. Training material, you can have it generate training material for your company. Workflow ideas, right? If you need an idea for something new or a way to innovate a product or something that you're doing, it'll give you new and innovative ideas. Number 4, case number 4, financial support. It will analyze things like your financial statements. It can help you budget plan. It can help you expense tracking, right? Like how much you're spending. If you want to put in there the electric bill for 12 months, right? It'll help you project how much you're going to need like in 1 year, right? Things like that. Pricing strategies. I've created this new product. I'm gonna start selling it. This is how much it costs to the cost of goods sold. This is how much it costs to manufacture this particular item. I want to, make 500% profit per item. How much should I price it for? It's gonna do the math for you, right? I'm not good at math, and I'm worse at a calculator, so it can do it for you. It'll help with forecasting as well for those pro forma reports, things like that. Where was I? Number 5, you can use it to help you with customer service. That's another really great one. For frequently asked questions, right? You want to make up something really nice that maybe you can put on your website, and you can ask it, what are some of the frequently asked questions for a business like mine? Whatever your business is, right? Be specific. And it'll generate a list of frequently asked questions, and then you can put it onto your website. It'll help you with chat responses as well. Handling complaints, creating a script for the phone. If when somebody calls and you have to answer the phone, maybe you have a little script and you have it printed out right there by the phone, so you can do like the 3-point answering and say, good afternoon, this is Linda Ramirez from Laredo College. How may I help you, right? And then maybe some answers to some frequently asked questions. And so those things you can have it make. You could print them out, you can put them there at your receptionist desks or whoever's answering the phones. What's become really, really popular in customer service is that they're using AIs and generating what are called chatbots. So you all seen when you open up a website, the little corner, it'll say, how may I help you? That's an AI. So there's no longer people. There used to be people on the other end of that line that answered the questions for you. That's no longer the case. Companies have stopped with the outsourcing of customer service, and they've created chatbots. And what the chatbot does is essentially you create this chatbot, you give it all of your company information, and so when someone gets online and they ask a question, they can find the answer based on everything that you gave it. Your company's website, information that you uploaded, and so it can answer a customer's question. And that's become very popular. Chatbots are free and very easy to create. There are websites and videos and all kinds of stuff that show you how to make your own chatbot. How many of you have a website? Does anybody have a website for their company? Nobody? Okay, if you do have a website one day, you should add a chatbot, because that's going to save you a lot of time, because your customer could go online and find the answer to the question they have instead of calling or, going down to the store and then finding out you don't have it, and then that could lead to disappointment and a whole bunch of other things. So that's a good thing to use. What are some of the common mistakes that we make with AI? The first one is, of course, being too vague. We don't give it enough information. We just tell it, can you create a poster for me? It's gonna say, well, a poster of what? What colors do you wanna use? What is it about? What are you selling, or what are you doing, right? So don't be vague. Another common mistake is we trust everything that it gives us without checking it out. And that's how you catch a lot of people. So we kind of, my friends and I, or people that work here, were like, oh, they used AI for that. Like sometimes we can really tell because we catch some mistakes that are on there, right? So make sure you read everything very thoroughly. You edit what needs to be edited, right? You check even for spelling mistakes and all kinds of stuff. Not customizing your outputs. Like what I did. I said Laredo College's colors are green and gold. It's at the Urey Library. It's from 6 to 7, right? I was very specific about little details because you put in those details and it's going to be reflected in the output. And this is a real important one. A big mistake that people make is not protecting your sensitive information, right? Your personal information. Never put personal information into your AI. Don't put things like your social security number or your driver's license number or anything like that. Remember, everything that goes into AI now becomes accessible to everyone else that's using AI. It becomes part of the World Wide Web, right? And so don't ever put any personal information in there. I mean, even your age or anything like that. Some people, and I uploaded my picture, right? And then I almost immediately regretted it. Like, should I put my picture up there? Like, now anybody could use my image. When we think about it, we had a little scare on campus a couple of weeks ago where somebody was creating a WhatsApp group and they were impersonating professors. And they were using images of these people from like our Canvas pages, right? Because it's on the World Wide Web. And so they look super, super legit. And yeah, anything that's uploaded into the World Wide Web or uploaded into your chat now becomes like public space, right? And public knowledge. So we say just be very careful. Don't put things like your birthday, your social security number, like I said, your driver's license number, things like that. You don't need to. I've never had an occurrence where I've had to do it, right? So you don't really need to do it. What are some of the best practices out there? Always review everything that the AI gave you, all of the outputs, right? Review it. Add your business voice as well, like your business's image, how you want it to be reflected. Put that in there. Don't share that sensitive data, and use AI as a helper, not as a replacement. You don't fire somebody because you're going to use AI, right? You still need people. This is just to help you and everyone in your company or everyone in your business be more productive. So to have to use less time making something. So you can put that time into the creative efforts of your business. So this is going to be our group activity and our Think Pair Share. And so you've got that little handout I gave you. I want you to get together with someone next to you, with 2 or 3 people. And I want you to write a social media post, a prompt for a social media post. And that is one of the little things that's written up at the top of the paper, right? So I want you to, what kind of prompt are you going to write for if you wanted to create a social media post? So you and your neighbor, right, get together, do a little bit of talking, think about what should go in there. And I'll get you started. What should be the first thing you should write as your prompt?
The role.
The role, okay? What is going to be the role? Go back over here. Maybe play the role of a social media influencer, right? Something along those lines? Or maybe you want to play the role as the business owner who's writing a social media post. So that's where you're going to start. You're going to start with play the role of a social media influencer. Create a social media post, and then you tell me what you want. The rest is up to you, right? I want you guys, you and your neighbor, to sit together, talk, and to write something. So in that space in the middle of the handout where it's asking you to write a prompt, that's where you're going to write this. And then I'm going to ask a couple of you to share. So, brave ones. gonna do it live with her too. Maybe I'll ask someone to, that's call him, I'll ask someone to give me one.
Snacks are looking good.
No, I don't want any. You do have the chile. I'm like, oh no, you got the chile that goes with it.
We need to finish the budget before April 30th. Bye.
How's it going? Does anybody have a social media post that they're ready to share? One more minute. And for a small business, using social media to advertise and to promote is easy, it's fast, it's cheap, right? It's definitely what you should be doing. It's a lot cheaper and less inexpensive than traditional advertising. So I highly recommend you create social media accounts and start promoting your businesses through social media. It is worth it to boost a post so that it reaches a larger audience. That's definitely worth it, because boosting a post might cost you anywhere from $8 to $20, but you can go for the people that follow you to like 50, 60, 70, 100,000 people in the area.
Do we have any volunteers?
Okay, so we're gonna do a live demo. So somebody's gonna read me their social media post, and then we're gonna put it in chat and see what it gives. So the first thing I did, I said always be nice. So I let him know. I said, hello, my friend. I'm teaching a class right now on using AI to help with your small business. We're going to use you to help us do a live demo. That's awesome. Perfect use case for a live demo. Let's make you look really good in front of the class. Thank you, my friend. Here are a few quick high impacts. So let's start the new one. I said, okay, let's go. I want to create a social media post. Here's the prompt. Somebody give it to me.
Okay, do we have volunteers?
Okay. Excuse my typing. If I misspell a word, I'm just going to fix it, okay?
Okay, we tried our best here, so hopefully maybe you can help us, I don't know. So we put as a social media influencer promoting swimsuits.
Okay, play the role of a social media
Influencer.
Influencer
Promoting swimsuits
promoting swimsuits
or curvy / plus size women.
/ plus size. Thank you very much. I'm gonna buy your swimsuit.
I'm patting that, okay.
Okay.
Looking for coverage in the right areas.
Looking for coverage in the right areas,
Such as the bust,
such as the bust,
the hips, and that offers mobility
and that
or movement. Yeah.
offers movement.
That's it? That's all we got?
Oh, wait,
Oh, the tone?
We went with that movie, 30 and Friday.
We want the tone to be like that movie. What
was the movie?
It was about 13 going
13,
30.
yeah.
Like that
Going
movie?
on 30.
13, I like it, going on 30. And, oh no, that's wrong, I don't need to do a quote. It was 30, flirty, and
Thriving.
30,
30, flirty, and driving. Let's see what it gives us. Oh. Let's see. All right, let's make it fun content. That's 30, flirty, with driving.
Interested in seeing what pops
We all
up.
are.
Okay, so it tells us. Okay, but can we talk about swimsuits that actually get us? Like, yes, I want to feel cute, but I also want support. I want coverage. I want to move, dance, swim, live my best life without adjusting every 5 seconds. Like that. These suits are giving, snatch waist, secure bust, not, because we're not playing games, coverage in all the right places, and still so flattering. It's confident, it's comfy, it's, I just threw this on and now I'm the main character in it. And then you can start, and then, right, because being 30, flirty, and thriving isn't about size, it's about how you feel in your own skin. Great tagline, right? You can start off with that. And baby, we are thriving this summer. And then it even gave you hashtags.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can put up
Very
pictures of
confident.
the
I like
swimsuits,
that.
right? Things like that. And then you can follow up with, send us your pics at the beach, use our hashtags, right? And then those hashtags will connect to your website, social media site. You may not use all of it. It was kind of big, right?
Can I ask you where we can find those swimsuits?
I love it. I'm gonna put here, I love it. I love it. Can you give me examples of what these swimsuits look like? I don't know what it'll give us. Let's see. Searching the web for plus size swimsuits, tummy control, high waist bikinis. Yes. Not just yes, yes. Should have been a yeah for the name. And it gave you some pictures. So yeah, it can, right? It can do a lot for you. It's just a matter of feeding it the right information, being very specific, asking it to play a role, right? All that kind of stuff. All right. I'm just hoping and praying there's nothing inappropriate on these. That's why I didn't scroll down too far. Okay. That's right. Great job. Okay. Now I'm going to say, let's write an email. Is that the
You
second?
know your algorithm is messed up for the next couple of weeks.
I'm going to be asking it for an assignment. It's going to give you a bikini. I'm like, probably. How about an email idea? What do we need? We need to write an email to somebody. Somebody give me an email idea.
Did anybody write an email? No?
Like, from what we wrote for our business, or?
Yeah, or just any email idea. We're going to ask it to write us an email.
We'll just ask it to send a marketing email, a marketing campaign email based on that same prompt.
Okay, that's great. Let's write an email. I'm going to put, can you write me an email? And tell me again.
Like a marketing campaign email.
That's a marketing campaign. Told you I'd misspell something.
G, it's a G.
It's a G. Campaign email based on this
Social media post.
social media post.
There's
Who's
an extra-
who's the email gonna go to? The email is going to.
It's gonna be a mass mail to customers.
Is going, okay, the email is going to be a mass email to our customers,
Potential customers.
okay, very good, our potential customers. What do we want our tone to be?
Welcoming.
Use a welcoming tone. Tone, because
we want them to buy our product, right? Oh. Because we want, how do I fix that? Them to buy our swimsuits. And I've learned that even when it's misspelled, it still knows what to do. Okay. Let's see. Subject, you are about to be thriving this summer. So you can your subject, right? Hello, beautiful. Thank you. Can we just say it's your summer? The feel confident, look amazing, and not worried about adjusting your swimsuit every 5 minutes kind of summer. We created our latest swimsuit collection with you in mind, because you deserve pieces that do more than just look cute. Thank you. You deserve swimsuits that support you, move with you, and highlight everything you love about your body. So it tells us to think, secure bust, flattering coverage, designs that move, while you're dancing by the pool. Oh, it has such faith in me, like I'm a terrible dancer. The collection is all about confidence, it's about comfort, it's about stepping out and feeling like the main character, because you are emoji, emoji. So go ahead, be bold, be flirty. Flirty for, I missed it, where did I go? Go ahead, hold on. Be flirty, be bold, be flirty, be thriving. Your perfect swimsuit awaits you. Shop the collection now and step into the most confident summer yet. Put the link to your website, right? And then boom. So, good. Yeah, you're like, love it. Just use it. Start telling people to do it. Really, it's super good, right? I mean, we made our prompt real specific. We gave it direction. We told it, like, our theme. The theme was a great idea, like 30, flirty, thriving, because it can go online and reference that movie, and then, you know, use language and tone that was reflective of that movie. Okay, I think there's just one thing left to do. Hold on. We did the live demo. We didn't do the business idea, but yeah. So recap, it saves time, reduces costs, increases efficiency, and it can improve your decision making as well, right? Because it'll narrow down decisions that you have to make. And that's a really good thing, because sometimes there's too many things and you don't know where to start. So you have it just give you, and tell it, I only want 3 to 4 ideas, right? And I'm gonna choose one of them, and then you can start to narrow down from there. Now, the action plan is also on this handout, right? I want you to write down one task that you're gonna use AI to help you do. Write emails, create social media posts. I'm gonna use it, you know, to generate ideas. So in your action plan, tell me, answer these 3 questions. One task you will automate AI with, one prompt you will try to use this week, and one area where you think you can improve your business using AI. And I think those 3 questions are on the handout, right? So walk out of here with an action plan. If you do it later on today, think about what you're gonna put on your action plan. Follow through. Your homework, even though I'm not gonna see you again to grade it, except you because he's in my class. And you because you're in the Rodriguez's class, so I might see you on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Follow through. If you have never used a chat, go in and get one. If you're only using one, go into one of the others, go into Gemini, go into Claude, go into one of those others and start using it to see if that suits your needs a little better. Guys, like last time, it was lovely. It was wonderful being here with you. Thank you so much for, I don't know if you asked me back. I know she did. She said it was by popular demand.